So the box section, or the framework for the wing, is all complete, bar riveting it together, but it's all drilled out to final size and copper clee codes together. And now we're just leveling it up, just making sure that it's all level. So we've got the digital inclinometer set up across the two spars, reading 0, 0 at the wing tip, and we'll just take it back about halfway and check it again, and it is indeed still 0, 0. And then we'll take it down to the root end, check it again, and it is also 0, 0. And just for my own benefit, I've also had a good old spirit level out and checked it as well, and all is good. So that's got it flat. Now, in order to get the whole thing square, there's a measurement that Sonex give you that is the offset between the bolt in the rear spar, this bolt hole here, and this hole in the main spar, and the offset between the two, so from here across to here, needs to be 19 inches. So I thought, well, I'm going to be moving this around a bit. I want it to be fairly stable. What shall I do to ensure it stays like it? So I've made myself a steel brace out of a piece of steel bar, and set it at exactly 19 inches offset. That makes the diagonal distance between the two centres of the bolt holes, I think it was 31 3/8 inches. Just check that, it's over here written down. 31 3/8, yeah. And so that's all locked off with two bolts, and the thing is completely rigid. Now, just to confirm that I've got everything absolutely spot on, I have put a mark down the centre, if this all, there we go, put a mark down the centre of each of the ribs, scored a line right down the centre of them, and if I've got everything right, I should be able to see though that score line through the holes in the wing skin. And that's the next thing to go on. So we've been outside and unpacked the wing skin. That's the right hand top wing skin, and I'm going to go and grab Katie, and we'll bring the wing skin over, plop it on top. I'll fasten it along the rear edge to the rear spar, and then we'll see how it all lines up and what it looks like. So stay tuned, back in a few minutes. Okay, so we've put the skin on, and it's clee-coed intermittently along the back edge all the way along. We've made sure that everything stayed exactly where we've put it. The brace is still in the right place, all the levelling blocks are still in the right place, and I've temporarily clipped the front down with some spring clips, and I don't suppose you can see it, but the marks go straight up the centre line of the holes on all of the ribs. apart from the last one, which drifts off just slightly, but I don't think we're going to worry too much about that. So that looks like a success to me. 99.9% of the holes line up with the centre line on the ribs underneath, and everything's square, everything's flat and level. We're going to go ahead and now drill some of the 200 odd holes that need to be drilled into the ribs now. See you later. After 2 hours of drilling and 178 holes later, and all my clecos, it looks a bit like this. Everything's gone to plan, nothing's gone wrong so far, and we have a silver clecoed wing skin on the wing. So, as some of you will know, I've had my mother, who's 85, staying with us for the last 6 weeks. And we had to take her back to the UK. So we were going to go over to the UK for a couple of weeks, see everybody, go to a wedding, and then come back. But we actually travelled over to the UK on Friday the 13th, unlucky for some, of March, and delivered mother back to where she lives in Cullington in Cornwall, and over the next 24 hours realised that there was quite a likelihood that France was going to get locked down due to the coronavirus, and we were a bit worried about getting back, so we hastily rescheduled our return ferry to Sunday evening, so we were only in the UK for 2 days. On the way to the ferry, I rang my mother and said, "Mother, do you want to come back to France with us, or are you going to stay in the UK?" And she thought about it for about half an hour and then rang us up and said, "I'm coming with you." So we had to divert, go and pick her up. My sister packed all the bags for her, and we picked her up, and she's back here with us again for could be forever. Because we're in lockdown now, and have been for about 5 days, something like that, which has a plus side. I get to spend more time building an aircraft, which is really good. Obviously can't do anything else, we can't run our business, but hey ho, I get to build some more aircraft, so you should see a bit of progress over the next few weeks or couple of months or year or however long. Well, I flipped the wing over, so now it's currently upside down. The skin we fitted is on the bottom, and obviously we've got an exposed side looking at us. I've greased and secured the bell crank for the aileron and put the securing split pin in it as well, and that all moves really nicely. It's very there's no flop in there at all, and it's very free and moves nicely. Good job. And I've made a sort of device to make sure that I get this absolutely level this time, because once we drill the holes for the second skin, the whole thing will become rigid when we secure it with the clecos. So it's as well to get the thing absolutely level. So I've made this little wooden device, and I've got my digital inclinometer and the spirit level on there to make sure that I get the whole wing absolutely level, and I can move that along the wing all the way to the tip and check it for level, and it is completely and utterly level at the moment, so that's good. On the floor over here we have the bottom skin, which has a hole in it, which is the inspection hatch on the underside of the wing to get access to the little bell crank there. We've also got to drill the hole for the tie-down bolt, which secures to that bracket there. So we've got to try and work out where that is and drill that. It shouldn't be too difficult. So I'm going to lift the skin onto the wing, and the first thing to do is to secure it to the trailing edge with some clecos and see how it lines up on the on all the ribs, and then we'll start drilling and clecoing, starting from the trailing edge, moving forwards. So I'll busy away and start doing that, and when I've got something to show you, I'll do another bit of video. So I've put the skin on, and it's attached all the way along the back edge. Everything seems to line up. I've marked through a few of the holes on each rib where the ribs attach, the little tiny holes through the skin, and then had a look on the ribs underneath, and all the holes run straight up the center of the ribs, which is absolutely brilliant, which means we must be relatively well lined up. It can't really go out as square because of this brace that's that I fitted to it before I did the other side. It's holding everything, holding the ribs at right angles to the wing spar. All I've got to do is make sure there's no twist in it now, so I'll get my special leveling device on here, and we'll have a look and see how level it is. That's the inspection hole, looking down through the inspection hole there, and this is the tip end, and using some spring clips just to hold the forward edge down onto the wing spar. But right, we'll see whether it's all level. Let's have a go at checking it for level. Got our leveling device here. We've zeroed it, so at the moment it's reading 0, 0, and we've got the bubble in the center of the level. So let's put it halfway along, making sure to get the back edge lined up with the back edge, and it says 0, 0, and the bubble's in the middle. Good. And towards this end here, the root end, get the back edge lined up, and again it's 0, 0, and the bubble's in the middle. So the whole wing is level all the way across. So I think we're ready to drill some holes and stick some clecos in. So we're going to do the first row, second row, working from the back to the front. See you shortly. Well, we've got 3 rows done now, so I'm going to stop just to make sure everything's still lined up. So we've got the level back on here, and at the moment we've got 0, 0 at this end. So now let's move it down to the other end and see what's going on down here. There we go, make sure the back edge is lined up, and all is still good, 0, 0, and the bubble is dead in the middle as a double check. So 3 rows down, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to go. 10 rows of clecos to go. Okay, until later. After about an hour and a half of drilling and clecoing, we've got all the clecos in and all the holes drilled, for silver clecos anyway. They've all got to yet be drilled out to the final size. And I've just checked it with the level at both ends and in the middle, and we're all still level, so that's good. And theoretically now it should be a lot stronger and not able to twist as much as it was to start off with. But so the next job is to drill up to copper cleco size and get all those silver clecos out, because we're going to need those. Every single one of the clecos, silver clecos I've got, is in use at the moment. I've carefully only used half the copper clecos on the other side, so I've got the same quantity to go in this side. I've got 200 of each, and actually I could have probably done with 250 of each, really, or 300 maybe, but you probably can never have enough. But in order to do the next step, which is to put the front skin on, I'm going to need all these silver ones that are currently put in the wing. So I'll get on, drill those out, and replace them with copper ones. All is good so far. So a couple of hours more work, and now I've basically drilled the holes for the hatch to go on, and here's the hatch, goes round that way, and then we've drilled the hole through for the tie down bracket, and also we've fitted the half hinge for the flap all the way along to this end. It's a long hinge, and hopefully we've got it straight so that it'll run nicely. Should be good. So that's where we are now. We're nearly at the point where we've completed all the tasks for the bottom wing skin. We're going to have a look at the wing tip, perhaps, although we really can't do that until the front skin's on. I've got to decide whether or not I start to rivet some of it together before I put the front wing skin on, or whether we try and eke out the clecos to try and do the whole thing on clecos, then strip it down. Anyway, we'll have a little tot up and see whether we've actually got enough clecos to do that, of various sizes. Well, that's the top and bottom skins fitted to the right hand wing. So we'll call it quits for this video. I think it's gone on long enough, and we'll tackle the front skin on the wing in the next video, which should be a bit of fun. Don't quite know how I'm going to bend it around there, but we'll have a look and see how it goes. But so far so good. Wing is straight, level, and looking good. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers for now.